Good morning. Fast Eddie here, guys. Here it is in the Philippines, about 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday morning. And just going to talk a little bit about what's kind of going on here in the YouTube Philippines community here. And probably many of you who follow or watch my channel do so because of the house build. You're interested in, just the house build. You're generally in construction, or you're planning on coming to the Philippines, and you are planning on building a house and looking for ideas and tips. And one of the things that's kind of going on in the expat world here in the Philippines, over in Dumaguete, is there's some well-known YouTubers over there who have been taken by a con man, it appears. There's a guy that started a construction company, land development over there, and a lot of people gave him money to build homes, and it's not happening. And a lot of things are just not what they seem for these people. People have lost money. And then, as it turns out, some of them went to YouTube to express their frustrations, and it turned out that there was many people that were involved with this guy and have been kind of taken advantage of. So I'll share the links below in my description so you can see these if you haven't seen them already. Very informative. It's a way to learn lessons. I mean, it's sad that this happened to these people. Some of them are probably living through a nightmare. Probably some of them have lost money they'll never recoup. I would just hate to think that you worked hard, you retired, you come here for a little peace and quiet, relaxation, in what is a very beautiful place in our world, and then have to deal with this. But there's con men everywhere and scams everywhere. Everyone's looking to make money for doing nothing. So the thing I kind of take away from the whole thing is one is that you got to be careful because you don't have the protections here in the Philippines, consumer protections that you would have in the U.S. And I'm speaking just because I don't know anything about consumer protections in Europe or any other country for that matter, just because I've never lived there. Uh, but in the U.S., you have you get you have contractor boards, you have local government, state government, federal government, so you have people that will go after people that commit fraud, if they think it's a big enough case. And this, from what the two videos that I have seen, it appears that is the case. That this is kind of a pretty big kind of a Ponzi scheme, if you will, or just an outright fraud. I don't know, because I don't know the details of it. And granted, I've only heard this two videos, and that's their perspective on it. The person that these allegations are being made of, he may have a whole nother story, and it may not be a con. He may have just got ahead of himself and made some bad decisions and can't keep up with demand, and as try to rob Peter to pay Paul, I guess is what maybe situation he might be in. But I don't know. But you watch the videos, you make a decision for yourself. But like I was saying, you don't have the protections in the states, that you would have. Uh, you don't have protections here in the Philippines that we have in the states for protecting people from investing and getting caught and getting scammed. Uh, the second thing that I would take away from this is if you're coming to the Philippines and you're planning on building, make sure that you follow the legal process. Have your land surveyed. Make sure the title, it's a title that can be put in your Filipino citizen's name. That's the other thing. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, you can't own land. You can't own land." That's correct. Foreigners cannot own land in the Philippines. It's going to be a Filipino citizen that has to own the land. Uh, but you got to do things legally. Our land here, our land, my wife's land, whatever you want to call it. We couldn't even put the fence up until we had the title rolling along far enough along to where the local municipality would give us a permit for the fence. And then that included, we had to get right away. We had to make sure. So we put our fence up once we were given a permit. Uh, while the fence was being put up, and we were working on the blueprints for the entire house, which includes a septic system. And so after we had the fence up, we then moved. We did a well. I don't think we needed a permit. I can't remember if we needed a permit for the well. And so we did our well, and then we dug our septic tank, and that was all designed by the engineers. It's all part of the permit process. So you just can't come around and just start building things and just do what you want to do here. It's not that. I mean, a lot of people think it is kind of the wild, wild west here, and you can just do what you want, put your four stake downs, and make your claim and do what you want. I mean, it's not as rigid as the U.S. In my experience with California, it's you don't have different stages of the permitting process where they're going to come along and check every whether when you poured your foundation is the sub your foundation are your floor joists, your subfloors, all that good. The framing is all that good. Electrical, you don't have all those permit processes that you have in the West here, but you got to have a permit to build your house. I don't need and so there's no occupancy permit or anything like that here, but you do need to have a permit. So, and the good thing about the permit process is that it's a protection for you because if they're not going to let you build or give you a permit for a house that you don't own the land to. If there's something wrong with the title that the municipality picks up on, they're not going to give you a permit to build a fence or to build a house. They're going to say there's a problem here, and you're better off correcting that problem uh, go early on in the process rather than start, putting your money into a home that you may not be able to occupy or even live in, or own. So it's one of those things you got to kind of follow the rules, and the rules are kind of there in a lot of ways to protect you. I wouldn't see them as an inconvenience or a barrier to taking care of yourself. So I'm going to put the links below if you haven't seen the stories. Or, take a look at them. You can go to their channels. I'll just put one link to each story, but you can go to their channels, and they have a couple other stories, I believe, on there to follow up on them. And it's a real eye opener. And I think there's gonna be more to follow. So you definitely want to kind of maybe subscribe to their channel. I mean, I'm not plugging them or anything. I'm just saying if you're interested in this kind of thing and you want to see what's going on, you want to follow, great. I know I'll be because I'm kind of interested to see how this all plays out. And a lot of people are talking about it here in the YouTube world in the Philippines. So I want to see what happens. And I am also next. This will be part one of my. I'm going to do a next video. I'm going to do is about mother titles. The land that we purchased was a mother title. I am going to kind of explain the process to you and why you may or may not want to do a mother title. So I know a lot of people say run away from them, but that's not always the case. So stay tuned. Go watch these other videos, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks, guys.